The Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis. Chapter 1. The Picture in the Bedroom. There was a boy called Eustace Clarence Scrubb, and he almost deserved it. His parents called him Eustace Clarence, and masters called him Scrubb. I can't tell you how his friends spoke to him, for he had none. He didn't call his father and mother, father and mother, but Harold and Alberta. They were very up-to-date and advanced people. They were vegetarians, non-smokers, and teetotalers. Eustace Clarence liked animals, especially beetles, if they were dead and pinned on a card. He liked books, if they were books of information and had pictures of grain elevators. Eustace Clarence disliked his cousins, the four Pevenses, Peter, Susan, Edmund and Lucy. But he was quite glad when he heard that Edmund and Lucy were coming to stay, for deep down inside him, he liked bossing and bullying. And though he was a puny little person who couldn't have stood up even to Lucy, let alone Edmund, in a fight, he knew that there are dozens of ways to give people a bad time if you are in your own home and they are only visitors. The story begins on an afternoon when Edmund and Lucy were stealing a few precious minutes alone together. And of course, they were talking about Narnia, which was the name of their own private and secret country. They had got there, of course, by magic, which is the only way of getting to Narnia. And a promise had been made them in Narnia itself that they would someday get back. They were in Lucy's room, sitting on the edge of her bed and looking at a picture on the opposite wall.
Oh, I believe it's a Narnian ship.
It could be, I suppose. Though I don't remember our ever having a ship with only one mast.
This may be a picture from a completely different age. You know that Narnian time doesn't run at the same speed as ours.
Perhaps we should stop looking at this picture. Doesn't it make things worse to look at what may be a Narnian ship when we can't get there?
Even looking is better than nothing.
A Narnian ship? Oh, I see. You're still playing your old game.
Shouldn't you knock before entering, Eustace?
I'm trying to think of a limerick. Something like this. Some kids who played games about Narnia got gradually balmier and balmier. Do you like that picture of the ship, Lucy?
Yes, I do. I like it very much.
I think it's a rotten picture.
If you leave the room, then you won't have to look at it.
I like it because the ship looks like it's going somewhere, as if it's on a great adventure on the high sea. And the waves look as if they're really going up and down.
Oh, that's your expert artistic opinion, is it? The waves look like they're going up and down. Ha!
Of course, Eustace knew lots of answers to this, but he didn't say anything. The reason was that at that very moment he looked at the waves and saw that they did look very much indeed as if they were going up and down. He turned rather green, and then a great blue roller surged up round them, swept them off their feet, and drew them down into the sea. Chapter 2. On Board the Dawn Treader.
Caspian, please tell us everything that's happened since we last saw you. It was a year by our time since we left you.
Oh, just before your coronation?
Then it's been 3 years by our time.
Oh, all going well?
You don't think I'd have left my kingdom and put to sea unless all was well? Oh, it couldn't be better.
You were going to explain why you're on this voyage, Caspian.
Yes. Where are we heading for?
Well, that's rather a long story.
No! I want to go home. This whole thing is your fault somehow.
Oh, Eustace!
I don't want to know why you're on this voyage. I don't want to know any of it. I feel tired and achy, and I want to go home.
Edmund, perhaps your friend would like to lie down for a while. We could put him in my cabin.
Rheinolf? Yes, Captain? Please escort our guest to King Caspian's cabin. See to it that he's made comfortable.
Aye, Captain.
comfortable. That's hardly likely.
It's me.
Where are we heading for?
Well, that's rather a long story. Perhaps you'll remember that when I was a child, my usurping uncle Miraz got rid of 7 friends of my father's, who might have helped me, by sending them off to explore the unknown eastern seas beyond the Lone Islands.
Yes, and none of them came back.
Right.
What were the names of the lords?
There's the Lord Rebellion, the Lord Burn, the Lord Argos, the Lord Mavramorn, the Lord Octesian, the Lord Restamar, and, that other one who's so hard to remember.
The Lord Roop, sire.
Rope, of course. Well, on my coronation day, with Aslan's approval, I swore an oath that if once I established peace in Narnia, I would sail east myself for a year and a day to find my father's friends, or to learn of their deaths and avenge them if I could.
And have sailed more than 400 leagues from Narnia. So I hope to see the Lone Islands the day after tomorrow.
And after the Lone Islands?
No one knows, Your Majesty.
Caspian now showed them over the ship. The name of the ship was Dawn Treader. She was only a little bit of a thing, for nearly all navigation had died out in the reigns of Caspian's ancestors. But now Caspian had begun to teach the Narnians to be seafaring folk once more, and the Dawn Treader was the finest ship he had built yet. Chapter 3. The Lone Islands.
Land in sight!
The Lone Islands. Felimath. And do you see those grey slopes? That must be Dawn.
Felimath and Dawn? Oh, Edmund, how long it's been since we saw them last.
Are we to put in here, sire?
I don't know, Captain. Edmund?
I shouldn't think it would be much good landing on Felimath.
Then we'll have to double around.
Around that cape, I suppose, and land on Dawn. That'll mean rowing.
I'm sorry we're not landing on Felimath. I'd like to walk there again.
I tell you what, why shouldn't we go ashore in the boat and send it back? And then we could walk across Felimath and let the Dawn Treader pick us up on the other side. You'll come, Eustace?
Anything to get off this blasted boat.
If Caspian had been as experienced then as he became later on in this voyage, he would not have made this suggestion. But at the moment it seemed an excellent one. It was delightful to be ashore again. Dawn now lay before them, divided from Felimath by a channel about a mile wide. In the green valley to which they were descending, a rough-looking man was sitting by a tree.
Hello. What's this?
It's only a group of men.
Rather rough-looking, if you ask me. It's just occurred to me that no one here can have heard from Narnia for a long time. It's just possible they may not still acknowledge our overlordship, in which case it might not be quite safe to be known as the king. Good morning to you.
Oh, good morning to you.
Is there still a governor of the Lone Islands?
Oh, to be sure there is. Governor Gumpus. His sufficiency is at Narrowhaven. But you'll stay and drink with us?
Thank you all the same, but we'll continue on.
Ah, but you won't. Take them. You're our captives. Blown him, I take less than 200 crescents for him.
So that's what you are. A kidnapper and slaver. I hope you're proud of it.
I don't do this for fun. I've got my living to make, same as anyone else.
Where will you take us?
Over to Narrowhaven for Market Day tomorrow.
Oh, is there a British consul there?
Well, Pug, what do you have here? More of your usual wares?
Yes, pleasing your lordship. Anything of interest?
How much do you want for that boy?
Which, my lord?
That one, the one with the blonde hair.
I knew your lordship would pick on the best. No deceiving your lordship with anything second-rate. That boy, well, now I've taken a fancy to him myself. Got kind of fond of him, I have.
Tell me a price, Carrion. You think I want to listen to the rigmarole of your filthy trade?
300 crescents, my lord!
I'll give you 150.
Oh, please! Please don't separate us, whatever you do!
150, then.
Done!
As for you, little maiden, I'm sorry I cannot buy you all.
Then they were rowed out to the slave ship, where they found many other unfortunate prisoners. For Pug was, of course, a pirate, and had just returned from cruising among the islands and capturing what he could. Meanwhile, Caspian was having a much more interesting time.
You needn't be afraid of me, boy. I'll treat you well. I bought you for your face. You reminded me of someone.
May I ask of whom, my lord?
You remind me of my master, King Caspian of Narnia.
My lord, I am your master. I am Caspian, King of Narnia.
How can I know this is true?
Firstly, by my face. Secondly, because I know within 6 guesses who you are. You're one of those 7 lords of Narnia whom my uncle Miraz sent to sea, and whom I have come out to look for.
Can it be? I am the Lord Byrne, one of whom you seek. I've appealed to his sufficiency, the governor, 100 times to crush this vile traffic in man's flesh.
What is this governor, this Gumpus like?
If your majesty came before him alone and unarmed, well, your grace's life would be in danger.
After a little more conversation, Caspian and Byrne walked down to the coast. And the Dawn Treader began standing in to the shore. And in a few moments, Caspian and the Lord Byrne were on deck, explaining the situation to Trinian.